Welcome, everybody, to Dead Talk Live. And today we've got two special guests with us. We have Michelle Monaghan, who is joining us via Zoom audio, and director Sophia Banks. I want to thank the both of you for coming on here today. The movie is called Black Site. It is a Redbox original, dropping on May 3rd in select theaters, Redbox kiosks, and Redbox video on demand. So, Michelle, Sophia, thank you so much. How are you guys doing today?
Fantastic.
Really well. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday, and it's been a long, busy week, let me tell you. So, the movie is coming out in just a few short days. Let's start with you, Sophia. This is your first full feature film as director. So,
Yeah.
tell us, how did this project come your way?
I it came through my agent. I had done a few shorts that had screened at Tribeca and a few different places and was looking to break into the action space. Obviously, it was going to have to be low budget. So I was looking for something that was achievable. I love movies like Alien and The Thing. So when the script came across my desk from Jinda Ho, I was like, this looks awesome. Female protagonist, exactly. I knew it would be tough because I really knew $10 million in 26 days was almost impossible. But I knew with someone like Michelle on my side, we could get it done.
And Michelle is absolutely awesome. Now, Michelle, you are no stranger to these CIA type movies. What was it like to put on the female powerhouse part of the CIA or fictional agencies like the IMF and become the lead protagonist in this movie?
Well, I was so excited. I love the action genre a lot. And as you said, I've dabbled in it throughout my career, and I was excited at the prospect of dabbling in it and collaborating with a female filmmaker. I mean, there's so few of them out there that get the opportunity to shoot in action packed um, film. And so, I really responded to uh, Sophia's film Proxy and really her enthusiasm despite our film's challenges. We made this film in 26 days
Wow.
during a pandemic with $10 million. With very little rehearsal time because our rehearsal time was actually spent in quarantine as we shot this film in Australia. So we were really heavily invested in it. And I don't think I would have, wanted to do it if I hadn't, met a filmmaker that was really saying, let's take this story of this woman who is an analyst, who is in the CIA and really plays by the book, who, lives her life, like by what is right and what is wrong. And she's really, trying to find out who killed her husband and her daughter. And she goes into the black site, a place that she's very familiar with. But then everything that she discovers there is not as it seems. And her
Absolutely.
world starts to crumble. And that's really what becomes in a very intense period for her. And so it was really fun with Sophia getting to kind of find these really grounded moments amidst this really action-packed film.
And this movie, guys, when you watch it, it has so many twists and turns. It's going to keep you on your toes all the way to the very end. Now, Sophia, the film operates on a very unique concept, but also grabbing bits and parts from other well known franchises, but adds its own very unique spin with an extremely talented, wonderful cast. What do you think is the most appealing aspect that the audience is going to find with Black Site?
I really feel like our incredible cast and the fact that because of their performance, because of how grounded it is, you're able to get invested and go on a journey and not necessarily feel like you're, watching a video game or anything. You feel like you're really in it. And because it takes that moment to sort of invest in the characters. Once the action starts, I don't know if you noticed, it just doesn't stop. So I think
Doesn't
they'll get
stop.
a fun ride. We screened it for Dana White, and he was like, I normally guess everything in the movie. I couldn't guess
No?
anything. I love this. So I feel like it does throw some misdirectors out there too.
Oh, definitely. Now, Michelle, were you brought onto the project before Sophia was picked to direct, or was it after Sophia was tapped as director?
It was after Sophia was tapped. Sophia and Thunder Road, who I've been a huge fan of. As we know, Thunder Road produced the great Sicario series, and as well as what am I with
John Wick.
Keanu Reeves? What is it?
John
Thank
Wick.
you, John Wick. Thank
Yeah,
you.
yeah, yeah.
I could see John Wick, but I just couldn't think of John Wick. So, that immediately intrigued me, and then I saw Sophia's short film Foxy, and I was like, oh, wow, this is a really cool young and up and coming filmmaker. And then after Sophia and I zoomed, Sophia is already actually in Australia in pre-production. I got really excited about taking this opportunity with her.
Now, Sophia, there's some amazing dynamics between Michelle, Jai, and Jason Clark. All great, and they were wonderful in their roles. When it came to the interactions between Michelle, who plays Abby, and Jai, and Hatchet, which is Jason Clark, did you have conversations with them on how you wanted them to sort of the chemistry that those characters had with each other?
Yeah, I mean, I had conversations as well as the great Martin Scorsese says, just hire great cast that know what they're doing and let them go. So I was also smart enough to listen to Michelle with all her incredible experience, Jason, Jai, and I think it's a collaborative thing because that's why you hire these incredibly brilliant actors was you want them to bring their story and ideas. So to me it was a complete collaborative creation. I was such a big fan of Michelle and so happy to be able to see her in a role like this because I've been wanting to see her in a role like this for a long time. So
Me
so
too.
we all work together.
Now, Michelle, let's talk about Jason Clark, okay? He has very, very little dialogue in the film, but yet his presence is so powerful through his body movements, his actions, his ruthlessness. As an actor
Mm.
working with Jason, what were your thoughts on how he brought Hatchet to life for us?
Well, I got to see very little of him. I shared very little screen time with him, despite me, him being my motivating factor in the drive for, Abby's storyline. So when I actually saw the film myself, I was like, damn, he really is sinister. He's so intense.
Yeah.
And, this is what I appreciate so much about my fellow actors because, I know him, on a personal level, he's like a teddy bear. So, he really is. He's such a sweet guy. He's so invested in it. And you can see that he's so invested in it. And he was somebody too, that, he had, I feel like every other day, Sophia can attest to this, like an intense action scene. And because we were, challenged by our schedule, our shoot schedule and COVID, he spent a lot of his weekends, really rehearsing all these scenes, his after hours rehearsing all these scenes. Um, and they're brutal to watch, but also they're incredibly intense and make the movie what it is. It gives the movie the pace and the intensity that it does. So I was really impressed with obviously his talent but also his investment as an actor.
Now, Sophia, when it came to you
Yep.
directing Jason, and like I said, it's really a lot of nonverbal body movements, actions. Uh, did you have a very specific vision of how some of the kill scenes went down, the choreography, the fight scenes? and so on. Did you find Jason being very excited and receptive to what you had in mind?
Yeah, I definitely, I mean, essentially we had to make Jason a monster,
Yeah.
essentially, right? So um we actually talked a lot, Jason and I, about how we were going to introduce him and how we could set him up to be feared, and that he would, his first kill would have to be very more much like a monster. So we actually worked together on that. I think we watched some great Korean, savage films, and looked at some different ideas, and went with the stunt team, because really that was what we saw as the biggest challenge, was how do we make him frightening.
Yeah.
And so I already, I had references from Alien and The Thing and things like this, but he's a man. So those were something that we worked together on.
Now, Michelle, you and Jai do have a lot of screen time together in this film. When it came to your scenes together, what was your opinion of Jai's character? He's a little bit of a complex character. He's a CIA contractor, uh, who obviously wants to survive like everybody else when everything goes to hell in the movie. So, what were your impressions of Jai's character? You think he was morally conflicted? You think he was just pure muscle? What are your thoughts on that, Michelle?
I think you're right when you say that he's complex. He's obviously been someone who's, let's just say, been underground for a while, maybe too long, and he plays by a different handbook than Abby, and so they're fundamentally trained differently.
Mm-hmm.
In the way, Abby's an analyst and he's a contractor, and both of their jobs are to get information, and yet both of them have their own unique approach to that. And Abby doesn't believe the way that the way that he chooses to go about getting that information is morally or ethically sound. And that is really ultimately is why Abby is getting pushed deeper and deeper into this sort of labyrinth of really feeling alone beside herself, and feeling like there's no one in there that she can trust. So as she starts to discover the truth of what's going on, she really kind of has to rise to the occasion and really fend for herself.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Now, one thing about Abby that really attracted me to the character is that even when everything does start to go sideways, uh, and it's you and Jai, and you have to leave him alone with a prisoner, you have somebody say, keep an eye on him. So even when everything is going wrong, Abby stands true to her convictions of what is right and wrong. As an actor, when you're trying to get into that mindset of why this analyst would do that, what was your process like?
Well, I think that we really knew that this was something that Sophia and I collaborated with. That was really important. Is that we understood that this person has to be, as you said, this person has to be moral. This is a person who is also in the grief process, right? She's just lost everything that's important to her. It was really, really important to find those grounded moments, those human moments. So even when she felt like she was like, and you watch him, like then the camera cuts to her, and she's scared shitless. Like she doesn't know what she's gotten herself into.
Yeah.
She realized she's in over her head. And so I think if we can see, if we can show the audience that she really is just a normal human being here, trying to just do her job, serve her country, do the right thing, while everything kind of goes to hell in a handbasket around her.
Exactly.
If we can kind of feel that vulnerability, and yet like see what she's confronted with and what she's up against, and that she actually ultimately conquers, we're rooting for her at the end. And I think that's what we really want to see.
Exactly. And Sophia, when it does come time for Abby to stand up, when she's put to the ultimate test, like we just said, and she stands up for her convictions, Did you have to talk with Michelle, help her out to try to fill in that backstory as to why this is so important? You would think a mother who just lost her husband and her child in a bombing, she would just throw that all out the window and go out for pure vengeance, but she stays true to her convictions. What are your thoughts on that, Sophia?
I think, yes, she does stay true to her conviction. And, Michelle and I, just from the beginning, I mean, as soon as we met and she jumped on board, we had so many conversations, so much time, long, hours in rehearsal, and we came up with what that was, you know what I mean? And why the process. And she is an analyst. She believes in the system. She wants to follow it to find the truth, but she doesn't necessarily want to go outside that, and then only when she's forced to by certain circumstances. But her guiding is finding what the truth is, and discovering that, and hoping that will ease the pain as
Yeah,
well.
exactly, exactly. And there's a brilliant moment where they talk about the pain. We're not going to give anything away. Guys, thank you so much. We're out of time. Again,
Thank
the
you.
movie is called Black Site. It's a Redbox original. It is coming out May 3rd. It's going to be available in select theaters, Redbox kiosks, and Redbox video on demand. I highly recommend it. It's a great film, and like Sophia said, from the start to the end, it starts at 100 miles per hour and it finishes at 150 miles per hour. Thank you guys so much for coming on here and
Thank
sharing
you.
your thoughts. It's been great. I want to thank our audience, those who are tuning in live and those who will be watching this later. On behalf of Michelle Monaghan, director Sophia Banks, you did brilliant as a first time full feature film director. I just got to tell you that. Thank you so much.
Thank
And
you so much.
absolutely. And until next time, guys, stay safe and stay walking. Bye bye.
Bye.